Let's not fight anymore.
You can hear me. Give me 3 seconds. I'm gonna grab something really quick, okay?
I'll never leave you. I know you lied right from the start, but I can't convince my stupid heart not to believe you. You've got two good men strung out, and there's not the slightest doubt that other men have loved you before. But you work that thing so well, I'll dream of heaven while I live in hell, till I can't take it anymore. If I had 1 ounce of pride, I'd step up or step aside, but girl, I love you. So I take the crumbs you drop, 'cause like a fool I just can't stop or rise above you. Men, speak up for yourself, I speak for me and no one else, 'cause like a beggar I'm knocking at her door. 'Cause she works that thing so well, I'll dream of heaven while I live in hell, till I can't take it anymore.
All right. What's up, everybody? This is DJ Boozadelic Inside the Music Live, coming to you on YouTube today with my featured guest, DeVare. DeVare, how you doing, my brother?
Hey, good afternoon, world. Good afternoon, good morning, good day, good evening. And since I'm not going to bed, I'm not going to say good night. Welcome, DJ Boozadelic. Big up yourself.
Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate you coming on this morning or this afternoon or this evening, wherever you may be in the world. Yeah, so welcome to Inside the Music, and I'm blessed to have you in the studio today, virtually here. And what we're going to do, we're going to listen to some of your music and we're going to talk about it. So you were born in Jamaica, if my memory serves me correct from my reading?
Yeah, I was actually born in a little parish named St. Thomas on the east side of Jamaica. Yeah, man.
All right. So what is life like in Jamaica, man? I mean, I got family in Jamaica, but I've never been, man. So go ahead and describe life in Jamaica for us out here in the listening audience.
All right. So let me introduce the audience to the fact that I spent more than half of my life in the United States. So for me, I've had a taste of both worlds. So when I say to you that it's two different worlds, when I was being raised, it was referred to as a third world country. But now we're not first world, but we've gotten, we have the internet. Let's put it like that, right? So here's what it's like growing up. It's down to earth, literally. Okay, I grew up in an era where face and book meant me and my friends sitting underneath a mango tree reading a book. Your face was in a book. So that's what it was about. And it's closer to what would be referred to as roots. So you're in a down-to-earth situation and closer to roots. What I say when I say roots, I mean it's a thing to wake up in the morning and say hi to your neighbor. It's a thing to be out there and sweeping the yard or whatever and dealing with people as they go by and ended up in conversations, that type of a fellowship type of a thing. Okay. Now I'm going to flip and say small town America is the closest thing to being raised in Jamaica because of the contact with each other. So it's not urbanized per se where I was born and raised. It was more like country living.
All right. So, well, there's something to be said about that. I mean, because when you have like the small communities like that, or smaller, I should say, you get to know everybody around you. It's just at times I think that it's actually just better for society, because like living in the bigger cities and stuff. I mean, you got people that are hustling and bustling all the time. They a lot of times people are just so frustrated with just having to deal with traffic and all that. I mean, people can be downright rude, so you don't have that sense of wholesome and togetherness a lot of times in the bigger cities where you do in the smaller cities and in a place like Jamaica. So that's the way I look at it.
This is correct. And it's funny because I'm going to share something with you. I've watched a couple of other interviews that you've had, and I see my people, we talk like this, I just saw we talk, no matter which part we're there, we just talk with that kind of accent there, and I just saw it go. With me, like I said, I spent more than half of my life in the US, so I can go in and out. You understand what I'm saying? Flawlessly. But what I come to find out over time, DJ Buzadelic, this is what I know. If you tell somebody, can you fetch me a glass of water in a language that they don't understand, they're not going to fetch you a glass of water. So, I've had the negative where people are trying to say, oh, you act like you're a Yankee, you chat like you're a Yankee, this and that. Well, here's the thing. In some senses of the word, I'm as much Yankee as there is, but that's not the point. The point is that I'm speaking to a world out there in a language that the world out there can comprehend. So every word that I say can be understood. So my choice is to make it understandable for whoever is listening.
Right. So now, how long have you actually been doing music?
Well, I've been doing music since probably about maybe 6 years old, 5 years old, because I did music in church. So it was a thing. Almost every single Jamaican, especially rural ones, are raised on some level of the gospel, of church. It doesn't matter the denomination. And also, it's one of the first places that you will ever get to touch an instrument or ever get to perform in public. So it's a big thing for us. So I was one of them. I was raised in church and I always sang. But the thing about me is that I am an avid go-getter. I'm a self-motivated get up and go get what's yours. And so in my early days, I never really pursued music. I found being educated was more wholesome. So I chased the book, so to speak. And the reason I did that is I noticed like a lot of other guys, like, in my area where I was raised, we would go and we would hog the mic when a sound system would let us and whatever, and this and that. But then I realized it was extremely difficult. I have a cousin that sings, and it was extremely difficult. He would get on a little show here or there when, there were things going on in the town or whatever. And you know something? He would beg me for money because I worked at like a factory. You see what I'm saying? So it was a thing that was so difficult. And when I saw the difficulty of getting there or making a living from music, I focused on school, bro. So with that said, I never really started to do music on a professional level until I was quite an adult. You know what I mean?
Okay. So I was sitting here trying to get the comments up because I couldn't find them, but now I have found them. So big ups to Tori, big ups to Sky Voice, Natalie Lawrence, Commando Joe, big ups. And I want to put this out there. So I want to try something today. I've never actually had it so the listeners or viewers can call in. So I'll give y'all my WhatsApp, 1-503-380-1548. So if you have a question that you want to ask DeVare, feel free to call up and we'll get you on here. So, all right. So my next question is, you say you started performing like around when you were 6. So was that like in the neighborhood or a church, or how'd that come about?
Yeah, it was a church. It was a church. We always had like this youth thing. And I remember very clearly Friday nights was young people's night. And coming up as a teenager, I did all the little skits, the little plays for church and stuff like that. When Easter time came, we did that kind of stuff. And that's when I had my little chance to, how would you say, shine in front of the church audience. Yeah, man.
All right. So nowadays, you look at where you were there then, you look at where you are now. And along the way, I'm sure you had many different influences, artists that you look to, artists that you probably run into. So who are some of the biggest influences for you in developing your music style?
Okay, so as far as the style is concerned, I was adamant about having my own style. I know a lot of people say, I'm arrogant, I'm this and that when they talk about it, but I never wanted to be the next anyone. As a matter of fact, I resented the idea of people saying that someone is the next Stevie Wonder, is the next this or the next that. I totally never liked that idea. And so I wanted to develop my own unique style. But by the same token, it is true that people like Otis Redding, people like Barry Hammond, you know, a lot of the greats, Dennis Brown, a lot of the greats were there to make me pay attention. But I didn't pay attention to their musical style and try to emulate. What I did instead was I paid attention to how much resources was there for us to take something that was literally ours from a place where it was in obscurity and bring it to become a mainstream worldwide event. That's what I'm going to refer to reggae music as an event, because the way how it came, I remember Bob saying when I was quite young, he said, you see that music here? It just all get bigger and bigger and bigger, to, you know, answering a question about where does he see the music down the road. And so for me, it wasn't emulating the other guy. It wasn't trying to sing like somebody. It was more like trying to find a niche, a little place for myself, and so that I can make my own little corner of the business my own. I'm very independent of mine, that type of a way.
All right. And so now when it comes to your music, how would you best define it? Would you call it, I mean, it's pretty versatile, but would you call it more like a traditional roots? Do you see yourself as more of a lover's rock or what?
Lovers rock. Lovers rock is where it's at. I'm going to tell you a funny story, right? So I'm starting out and I love the live band sound. So we're working together and there's this guitarist that used to always just let go of the guitar and just like put his hand on his head and look at me, right? So he would pull off one of these like, bruh, what happened to you, my youth? You know, it's that uptown reggae you were singing. And that stuff made me laugh, man. He said my style of reggae is uptown reggae. Now, don't ask me what that is. I have no idea. It's just one of those things about how I do my thing. And once I identified with things like this, it was like, yes, I am creating what I set out to create, which is, like I said, my own niche, my own little space in the business, you know?
All right. So we're going to go ahead and actually dive into some of your music. I don't know who was there from the beginning, but I had Till I Can't Take It Anymore queued up. So we're going to go ahead and take that one from the top. So tell us about Till I Can't Take It Anymore.
All right. So this song is one of those country songs that it got my attention. I was working in a foreign country, and here I am in this hotel room in the afternoon, and I'm putting together this album that in my own mind, I'm referring to it as my father's music. So I didn't want anything from my time period per se, right? I kind of wanted to celebrate what I grew up on in that sense. So here I am putting these songs together, and you know, when you have like an autoplay on your YouTube, then songs follow. So I'm scrolling down the list and I see the song Till I Can't Take It Anymore that I don't know. You know, I've never heard of it. And it was done by a white man. I can't remember his name at this moment, but it was done by a white man. And I played it. The thing about it is, when I played it, there were other versions of the same song. And Benny King came up as next. And then below that was Ray Charles. Now, these are people that I admired, especially Ray. I admired Ray because Ray is the first, as far as I can remember, the first black man that made a major record company set it how he wanted it. And I read this someplace and I was like, I like this. So I played the Benny King version and I was like a little bit more enthusiastic about the fact that, you know, the song. And then I played the Ray Charles version, and the emotion that Ray Charles put into the song, I was like, yes, this is it. That song literally like almost brought me to tears because of its realness, because it's one of those situations where someone finds themselves in a three-way dance and is holding on for their life and saying, I'm not letting go. But I bet you'll find it someplace else because I'm not letting go. So that's how that song came about. It's an actual cover. And it's one of those that you asked about influence earlier. Let's call it inspired by the way how someone else covered the very same song.
All right. And before we get into it, I know Natalie's your manager, Sky Voice. Who's your producer?
Actually, okay, so I have a producer. He's in Jamaica. And there's another unique thing that you asked this question. I'm going to segue right into this and then allow you to play the song. I have a producer that I found at Barris Hammond's studio. He was working with Barris at the time. And oddly enough, you have people that their spirits intertwine. Nobody's going to like everybody, and everybody's not going to like everybody else. And the funniest thing about it is his name is DeVario, right? And so my name, DeVare, is actually an acronym. It comes from my government name. I use the letters from my government name to make it up. Okay. So I said to this guy, yo, I guess I'm gonna have to change my name because it's so close to your original name. And he's like, man, change my, just use the name, brethren. And it's like we just became so close. And he has been producing for me now for about 4 or 5 years. And his name is DeVaria Jones, Architect Music in Crossroads, Jamaica. And that's where I go to get work done. I have my own studio, so when I want to change the sound, he'll come and he'll do his engineering in my place, or I go to his place for the sound that I want there, and so on and so forth. So that's basically who produces for me right now. Mm-hmm.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen, you are inside the music with my guest, DeVare, and we're about to listen to Till I Can't Take It Anymore. And make sure that you guys go out there and subscribe. You're on the YouTube channel watching this. Make sure you subscribe so I can go ahead and get more of these artists like this exposure. Let's go.
Let's not fight anymore. Unpack your bags and close the door. I'll never leave you. I know you lied right from the start, but I can't convince my stupid heart not to believe you. You've got 2 good men strung out, and there's not the slightest doubt that other men have loved you before. But you work that thing so well, I'll dream of heaven while I live in hell, till I can't take it anymore. If I had 1 ounce of pride, I'd step up or step aside, but girl, I love you. So I take the crumbs you drop, 'cause like a fool I just can't stop or rise above you. Men, speak up for yourself. I speak for me and no one else, 'cause like a beggar I'm knocking at her door. 'Cause she works that thing so well, I'll dream of heaven while I live in hell, till I can't take it anymore. Myself up off the ground and start all over. Oh, girl. Now him or I must win or lose, but no matter which one you may choose, you'll be in clover. While you're making up your mind, I'll be praying all the time you'll never leave me. You're not letting me go, 'cause you work that thing so well. I'll be in heaven while I live in hell, till I can't take it anymore. Oh, you work that thing so well. I'll be in heaven while I live in hell, till I can't take it anymore. Oh, you work your thing so well. I'll be in heaven while I live in hell, till I can't take it anymore. Girl, you work that thing so well. I'll be in heaven while I live in hell, till I can't take it anymore.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Big tune. All right, let me get back to the page and see some comments. I saw some fire emojis up there. All right, how the heck did I get back to the chat on this thing? All right, man. So that's a big tune, man. Big ups to that one. I've played that one quite a few times actually on my show. So
yeah, sometimes I'm passing through and I can't get into the comment box because I have to just like leave the phone at a distance and, you know, do my work as it relates to, you know, timing and stuff, because you're what, generally speaking, you're about 3 hours ahead of me. And sometimes it becomes 2 when they change the time and I'm in Jamaica. And sometimes, you know, you can't participate as in hands-on, but you can listen. So, you know, I noticed that you like that song and I was going to mention it to you. If you ever ask me like, okay, so if you have one question for the DJ, what would that question be? I'd be like, how come you like that song so much?
Well, the truth is just, it's got that vibe, man.
Yeah.
And when I played it, some of my regular viewers and listeners, it gives pretty good response. You know, the fire emoji, the big tune emojis.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate that in the listenership out there. I appreciate that. I appreciate the response.
Yeah. So, but you know, I think it just, I don't know, it speaks to a lot of people, man. I think that's what they like about it.
Yeah. I think so. So you mentioned my manager earlier, and I just sent her a song just for her listening ear because it's not ready to be released. And she said exactly those same words to me. She said, you know, this song actually, it appeals to people. And the funniest thing is it got mixed in this week. And I was listening to the first mix, and after about 5 times of listening, I said, hey, listen, Natalie, I'm going to send you this thing to listen to. And right as I'm saying this, so I'm like literally typing it in the message box. And another message came in, and that message was saying exactly the same thing. And it was coming from the actual producer. He was saying to me, yo, you know, there's something about this song that it appeals to a lot of people because what you're saying in it makes so much sense and it fits in just about the life of every person. Reaching those, how would you say, those highs in my mind are some of the greatest highs you will ever reach in music. Some people think it's all about, you know, the glamour and the money and everybody knows your name and this and that. Nah, for me, achievement is a whole different ballgame. It's a case of understanding that there is a place inside of you. You went to this place inside of you. When you re-emerged, you came back with a product. Can you let somebody else feel the place that you were? And that's important. So for me, that's a big deal.
All right. Well, you know, I love that, you know, because that's putting, you know, you're setting aside, you know, the ideology of fame and fortune for just something that actually reaches out to the people. And so that's what I really appreciate, especially with a lot of you independent artists, man. That's where it seems to be at. So big up yourself for that.
Yeah, man, respect.
All right. So the next song I have queued up here is Change the World.
You know, the oddest thing about that song and what made it personal for me is that it is such that we always talk about changing the world, like we want to make it into our own special whatever we think it is, considering the fact that not everyone is going to agree. Could you imagine if one person had the power to make the world theirs in that sense? So when I looked at the idea of the song, I thought about it, and then I realized there's something personal about it. It's a personal conversation, so to speak, within 2 people. And one person is saying, listen, if I could reach the stars, I'd pull one down for you and shine it on my heart so you could see that my love is true. So you could see, I would give you your own special light for you to see what this connection between you and I is about. And I find that to be super, super, super powerful, bro. I find words like that. And like I was saying to you, I have a thing about songs. A song is written, and then that's what it is. It's written. And sometimes a song becomes really famous, but not by the person that ever wrote that song, or not even by the first person who recorded that song. And so for me, I wanted to do that in the sense that it made perfect sense for a one-on-one relationship, for someone to express themselves to their significant other in that manner. So yeah, that's what made that song come on the album. As a matter of fact, now that we're on this, I'm gonna make the point of I write my own songs, okay? But I wanted to do this album, and I called it Reflections for a purpose. See, this album is a reflection of how life used to be, how it was at some point. You know what I mean? It might not have been great for everyone, but here's a moment. Like, take for instance, I just spoke to you about you liking this one song. Let's just say we were just having a conversation, just a casual conversation. And you go, you know, one of my favorite songs came on the radio as I was driving over here. And I was like, what song is that? And you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I was like, wow. And time went on. And as I learned to appreciate you more and more, I said, you know, DJ Boozadelic always telling me that my voice fits this and my voice fits that and so on and so forth. I'm going to surprise him. And I grabbed this song, took it to the studio, called you up one day and said, check your email. You see where I'm coming from? That's exactly the kind of level that I'm on mentally when it comes to music.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I constantly check my email. So yeah, I'll be looking for that.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and roll Change the World. Ladies and gentlemen, Inside the Music with DJ Boozadelic. Make sure that you are following me or subscribe, whatever they call it on YouTube.
Reach the stars, I'd pull one down for you, I'd shine it on my heart so you could see the truth, that this love I have inside is really what it seems. Till then I find it's only in my dreams that I can change the world. I would be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love is something really good, baby, if I could change. If I could be king, even for a day, I'd have you as my queen, I'd have it no other way. Then our love will rule this kingdom that we've made. Till then I'll be a fool, wishing for the day that I can change the world. I would be the sunlight in your universe. You would see my love is something really good, baby, if I could change. my.
All right, changing the world.
Yeah.
Hey man, what really stands out to me on that track is the way your voice is like, it's like an instrument, man. Because when I listen to music, like every time I go through it, I like this time I'm gonna listen to the bass, this time I'm gonna listen to the guitar. And so that time I really just listen to your voice, man, and you really do a good job of using your voice as an instrument.
Thank you. Thank you. I try to sing, like I said to you earlier, with an emotion that attracts people. To me, sometimes I think people oversing, they don't really state what they're saying, or the expression they're putting into the notes are wrong because it takes away from the right feel or whatever. So I have a tendency to croon, and to croon in a way that I'm appealing to a certain emotion. So like I was saying to you, I developed this. It's not, it's not me copying something from someone else. I took time to try to identify how I want to make deliveries, and to hear someone say it like you're saying it to me right now. Those are the things that keeps me going. That's my drive. That's my drive right there to make me want to do this.
All right. I think I need an engineer in here. I got like 3 computers going. I got to keep changing screens. And it took me forever to get the figure out how to get the chat up on this YouTube, because I've never gone live on YouTube prior to today. But I was going back through, and I think some people missed some things. So Tori asked how long you've been an artist. I know you started singing when you were 6. And what was it that got you interested in becoming an entertainer?
So Tori, hi, how are you? Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. All right. So oddly enough, I'm on the 9 to 5 one day, and music appeases me. It's what turns off the noise. And I'm doing this work, and it's kind of stubborn what I'm doing. So I'm in the same place for a little while, and I'm trying to figure out some wirings that were damaged. I think it was because of a hurricane. A tree had uprooted and tore up some underground wiring. So it was a lot of wiring for a microsystem, and I'm checking it out and I'm checking it out. And as I'm doing this, I'm singing, but I'm not paying attention to what's going on behind me. So on a second floor balcony, there were some people, and for whatever the reason, they're just checking me out. And then I stopped, and I heard, and I turned around, and you could imagine my surprise. I was like, I was being taken out of winding, and I didn't realize. And I was like, wow, that's amazing, because these people are telling me, oh, that's so nice. Your voice is so natural and blah, blah, blah. And they're telling me all of this stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, I used to hear this. And here I am now, about to be like, 30 something years old. And I'm hearing it again. And somehow I get a feeling that I shouldn't waste it, So I decided to check it out. And I started the process around 14 or so years ago. I started the process, but I spent the first amount of years investigating the business of music. So I really didn't run into, I'm going to go make the next big hit song, and I want to become the next household name or whatever. No, it wasn't like that for me. It was like, what is this going to take? And I spent years figuring this out. Why years? Well, I have to work a 9 to 5. I have to make sure that the kids are always fed and that there's a roof over their head. So I focused on that. And then I got to a point where, okay, I said, there's a certain percentage of my salary that's required to even make a record. So I need to make sure the finances are in place. So there was a lot of things to do, and not to rush into something that's going to make me miserable. So if you could consider like a hobby, it's one of those things. So at this point, it started off like a hobby. And at this point now, it's 2 careers. So it's one that's out in the field every day trying to make a living. And there's another one that makes songs like the ones that DJ Bozadelic like and other people like. And I get a lot of sentiment from that one part. So it fulfills my life. So I guess you could say, let's just say about 14 years of so of fulfillment into something that appeases me. And I hope it appeases others, this far into the journey.
All right. Great story. And so, I love what you said about, you had something that you had kind of like as a hobby, and then investing in it. And, what I want people to catch is, if you just truly put your heart into it, then that's when the universe starts to reward you with the abundance. Our creator starts, if you put your focus there, starts making it happen for you.
Yeah, man. You know, it's odd that you said that. A lot of times, you know, people view artistry from different viewpoints. Like you were saying just now, you listen to this part of the song on this go around, and you listen to another part, and then there's another time when another part actually grabs you, and you didn't make a choice. I'm gonna sing this a couple of lines for you to make the point of how this developed into something that I realize is more of a reward for me than for me to go out there and chase being the next big household name or whatever, right? So check this out. I'm in a negative environment because of my own doing. I didn't say, I did something that someone else didn't quite understand. The fact that they didn't understand it, they yelled at me, and the yell that the person yelled at me, I thought to myself, I'm not this guy. I'm not this guy. Nobody talks down to me. I pushed my own key for my own door since I was a teenager. I'm not going to sit here and take this. But then, you know, that big slice of humble pie was also in front of me. So I took a piece of it. You understand what I'm saying? And when I did, I came up with these words. And this is exactly how it went. And I mean, word for word, this is what happened inside of my mind. It goes like this. As a youth coming up, I had this dream to walk among the stars. But the road is rough, and so it seems I won't really make it far. So many thoughts of giving up. I get so tired of this empty cup. That's when I heard a voice inside me saying, hold on one more day. Now, you see where I'm coming from? I'm saying there's something, there's a drive, there's an inner force that's within me that interprets in a particular way. Remember earlier I said to you, there's songs that I write that other people are going to gravitate towards? There you have it.
All right. So got a couple more questions. Commando Joe asked, where in Jamaica you are from, King?
So I was born and raised in Yallis, St. Thomas. Yallis is about about 20 miles or thereabout out of the city of Kingston, out of the heart of Kingston itself. It's approximately 20 miles or so. And that's on the southeast coast of Jamaica.
All right. And then Tori says she was commenting on something you mentioned in there about the about developing your music, especially given the fact that you bring in the reality of time, most want it all today.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the reality of time, I don't quite understand. I brought in the reality of time, and then what?
No, she's saying that the fact that you make it real, basically, that okay. Most want it all today. You knew that this was something that you had to develop.
Precisely.
And you talked about a certain percentage of your earned income go to that.
Yeah. And oddly enough, DJ Buzadelic, there are all kinds of analogies that people use from ever since human beings have figured out how to write. We use them to present ourselves. And I like the analogy of planting a tree and waiting for it to fruit, or planting a seedling and waiting for it to flower. And the thing about that is that you get to enjoy that journey as well, because the pruning and the breeze knock over the plant and you have to make it right again with a stick or whatever it is. And so if you use that analogy mentally, you will come to realize that you knowing the journey as you progress moving forward, because that's the direction that life goes. Yes, it will teach you first how to appreciate what you've got. That's the very first thing that it will teach you. And the next thing that it will teach you is patience and understanding where you are and where it is that you need to be. And so you don't keep on making the exact same mistakes over and over again.
All right. Okay. So I saw another comment in here from your manager. She said, where did that go? Gratitude. That's the latest song from the Sky Voice Records.
Do you have that? Do you have that song?
I have it up next.
Aye. Let's do this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gratitude.
Just a little gratitude, As I journey through this life of mine, this I've come to realize, that it's such a blessing to wake up each day and say hello to a new sunrise. Taking the moment of each day, a special moment to be kind, really takes no effort at all. In fact, it helps to relieve the mind. When there is love, peace will thrive. So give I justice like the bees gives to the hive. War is ugly, bloodshed and misery, nothing but pain and loss of life. Like the flowers needs the sun, they need the rain. Amidst the joy we have the pain. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win, sometimes we fall. But to rise again, that's the beauty of.
Yes, y'all.
When there is love, peace will thrive.
Beautiful, I'm going to have to pull it.
Give I justice like the bees.
You are listening to DJ Bunzaderi playing reggae, dancer and Afrobeats.
Just a little gratitude, you know. As I journey through this life of mine, this I've come to realize, that it's such a blessing to wake up each day and say hello to a new sunrise. Taking the moment of each day, a special moment to be kind, really takes no effort at all. In fact, it helps to relieve the mind. When there is love, peace will thrive. So give I justice like the bees gives to the hive. War is ugly, bloodshed and misery, nothing but pain and loss of life. Like the flowers needs the sun, they need the rain. Amidst the joy we have the pain. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win, sometimes we fall. But to rise again, that's the beauty of it all. When there is love, peace will thrive. Give I justice like the bees gives to the hive. War is ugly, bloodshed and misery, nothing but pain and loss of life. When there is love, peace will thrive. So give I justice like the bees gives to the hive. War is ugly, bloodshed and misery, nothing but pain and loss of life. Nothing but pain and loss of life. So give I justice like the bees gives to the hive.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there it is.
Yes,
Gratitude.
sir. Yes,
My
I have.
featured artist for today's program, DeVare. You got some good positive feedback. Of course, your manager loves it. She says tune. And so, not being in the UK myself, I always see this word and I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but she says, "Wee." I guess I said it right. Or is it "woy"?
It's war. It's war.
Okay, so it's "woy." Okay, I'm learning, man. I've been over there doing stuff now a little over a year, and it's like,
Yeah, man.
they gotta keep me updated on the lingo and stuff.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you know what?
man.
I really appreciate the listeners over in the UK because they just love ja reggae music and dancehall music.
Yes, yes, I do too. I actually, that's one of the places that I went to. I had the opportunity to go and sit among the nephew of King Jammys, right? And learn what it was like to be inside of a studio. See, he was the first person that let me see and work inside of a studio. Because it's on one hand, when you're singing a cappella, it's another hand to find the key for the music and to work through it and to know that you messed up and to sing through it. So I always big up Jack Rubin, big up Jack Rubin for laying the foundation principles inside of my mind to move forward musically. One of those people that you just end up forever grateful to, you know what I mean?
All right, yes, indeed, definitely, and you got a lot to be grateful for, man. I mean, you've had some great people involved along the way, and you really, I guess, perfected this craft, man. Because your voice, like I said earlier, just amazing the way you use it. The music, the rhythms, they're nice, man.
And here comes another one, man. I'm talking to him right now, and I appreciate it. You know, the funniest thing about it is, DJ Buzadelic, is that a lot of people, you have your questions, but a lot of people craft a moment and they make it feel like you're inside of a box. There are other people that you just hold a reasoning, you just talk, and things come around, and you talk about this and you talk about that. You segue from one point into another, and you even create questions with your answers as you talk to them. Those people leave an indelible mark in your mind. You don't never forget them, regardless of, they might not see you every day, or you're not on the phone on a day-to-day basis, but you're somewhere. And oh man, DJ Buzadelic, he makes me laugh. And that's just for, that might be all for the day. It might just be the thought, but it is the fulfilling aspect of what I said to you earlier, is that there are things in this business that will beat you down. There are people in this music that will suck your energy dry. But there are some things about being creative. There are some things about some of the people that you come in contact with, you being one of them, that, like I say, leave an indelible mark on you. Not just because they ask you a few questions and you answer it, but you mentioned the word vibe earlier. There's a vibe thing. A lot of people don't understand. You don't have to stand beside someone to create a vibe. Someone vibe come from how they speak to you. Sometimes people don't speak to you, they speak at you. You understand what I'm saying? I learned that when I came to the United States, that you don't speak at people, and you try to use both ears and to comprehend what life is about from where they're standing, because from where you're standing, it's a different point of view. You know what I mean? So I apply those things into what I'm doing, and hopefully someone somewhere would have been influenced to do this in a particular manner for themselves, now, not to be another me, but in a particular manner to do it for themselves that is fulfilling to their life, because this closes a gap. It fulfills a huge aspect of my existence. And hopefully, like I said earlier, it's passed on to others where they can craft whatever it is that they're doing around an ideology that says life can have its own fulfillment outside of everything being cash, everything being money. You know what I mean?
All right, yes, indeed. And so, I want to touch on that vibe thing for a moment because, I try to keep this as short as possible so we can get back to the music. But people that don't know about me, I was diagnosed with a very rare muscle disease several years ago. That's basically took me away from work. It makes me fatigued a lot, and so I'm kind of limited in a lot of the stuff I can do. And so I had to kind of learn some things. And one of the things I did in the process was I learned how to meditate. And I actually took a course from the Radiant Sutras School of Meditation. It was like a 200-hour course on teaching instinctive meditation. So I'm actually a meditation teacher. But one of the things I learned is everything has a vibe. And when we say the vibe, we're talking about the vibrational frequency. And so I started putting two and two together. You know, first I started telling my story, creating YouTube videos, and I kind of made a channel under my Clark Boozer name. And then I needed something to do, especially during COVID, to keep my mind sharp. And so I got back into DJing, something I did in college, and a little bit after I got out of school, I had a little business where I was doing parties. And I happened to go to a football game to watch my Oakland Raiders, or Las Vegas Raiders now, but back when they were in Oakland, I saw one of my boys out there DJing, you know, he had all this digital equipment. I didn't know what the hell it was. It's like, man, I know you still got it. You need to get back into it. And so I was like, okay. And so then I started getting on the UK radio. I started doing the stuff on Mixcloud, and then where I'm at now, I said, hey, you know, I love this reggae music. I love a lot of the independent work. I want to find a way to put them out there. And so that was all following this vibe. And then when you talk about people, you know, you can tell by their vibe. You can even get that through, you know, I mean, here we are thousands of miles apart digitally and stuff, but can pick up on each other's vibe and stuff, you know. And the thing you said about talking at you or talking to you, you know, that stands out. And especially in this industry, you can feel a lot of both.
Yes.
But you know, this is truly something that comes from my heart. I know what you do is something that truly comes from your heart. And so that's what that gives me the most satisfaction. And I have a whole lot of gratitude for to be able to reach out to artists like you, your manager, you know, my buddy Tori over there at Stonefire and Commando Joe.
Big up Tori, I don't know.
Yes.
Hey, you know, DJ Buzadelic, it's funny, you know, because as you're saying, we journeyed through this. That song started with, as I journey through this life of mine, I've come to realize, you know what I mean? COVID almost killed me. COVID almost killed me, literally.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm a diabetic.
Okay.
Understand what I'm saying? And when I caught COVID, it was before Omicron. It was that nasty one. And that thing put me down. Okay. I have a very strong will to live. And I was like, And it interpreted, I'm going to tell you this. It interpreted where I was getting from the fever, you know, that those kind of illusions that you get. I was literally out of body, looking at myself, fixing my body. Like I would cut something open, like I strip a piece of wire and use it as a test and connect it and to get my arm working again and so on and so forth. Because I am of that nature. I'm an engineer, so I'm of a technical nature. So it's funny about how you get into that fever, that high fever. I was running 107 fevers, okay? And you get into that high fever and here you are outside of yourself, looking at yourself, patching yourself back together. I hear you talk about, you know, how life dealt you lemons and you found a way within whatever was going on around you to make what you do be positive. If I was to sit here and tell my story of the amount of negative people that have come after me, and I smile, shrug my shoulders and keep it moving because I know what I've got and I know what my aim is. You understand? I don't have any questions about who I am. I never did ever since I was a child. I never had questions about who I am. And the thing about it is the only question that faces me when I wake up every morning is, how can I leave my mark? That's my question. And once I ask myself that question, I start working on ways to shine through to leave said mark. So hearing you speak on your situation just now, and even to look at equipment that you're like, what on earth is this? And to come all the way to bring someone like me out to the forefront as a part of what you're trying to do, instead of letting the negative that hit you bring you and put you into a negative place. Okay. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, sometimes we fall. But to rise again, that's the beauty of it all. You understand what I'm saying? There you go. That's your line right there, baby.
Hey, you know, that literally has brought tears to my eyes. My eyes are watering because when I hear your story, how close you were to death. And then I think back, you know, I was supposed to be dead 20 years ago.
Yep.
And I'm still here for a reason. There's a mission that
the mission is not complete.
And so, man, that's beautiful.
Yes.
All right. So, man, I could probably talk to you for 2 hours. We've almost been at an hour. I generally like to do this 45 minutes.
It doesn't even feel like it. You see what I mean?
Know. We're going to do one more song here. I had Diamond in the Rough queued up, but I mean, I got a list here.
Okay.
So I got Little Green, Yeah, Little Green Apple.
Green Apples.
You got a collab with Shanice. Just the Way You Are. I'm Only Human. Let's Go. Drift Away. Tears from My Eyes. That Smile. Let's Make Love Tonight. Love's Natural High.
I want you to play Can't Let Go. That song called Can't Let Go.
All right. Tell us about Can't Let Go before we play it.
Okay, so here I am in England, and my equilibrium is off. My biological clock is totally off. So for a little while, I couldn't go to sleep like everybody else. So I'm on the 3rd floor, and every morning early, I would hear someone coming down the hill. And when you're walking down the hill, coming from a hilly area, when you're walking down the hill, it has a way out. It sounds like 3 steps, kind of. It comes down different because you literally are trying not to let gravity let you roll forward. So I would hear a murmur coming out every morning, and I was like, "What is this?" And so I decided that I want to hear this. So I got in the window, and I'm sitting in the window, and I'm listening with the faint light of the street light, and I could see the person tucking in their collar. You know, it's brisk, and they're coming down the hill, and the person is saying that they can't believe how much they have to get up in the morning and go to work every day. And the people in the household won't even help when she comes. She's got to cook dinner, and they're sitting there watching TV and playing video games and this and that. And it's not fair and it's not right and blah, blah, blah. And I said to myself, wow, listen to the cry of the people in the street. And right as I said it, I realized it wasn't me talking with my outer voice. It was my inner voice telling my hands to grab paper and write this down. And so that song is one of those reality songs that addresses and deals with a very, very staunch reality of life. Here we go. DeVare, Can't Let Go.
Listen to the cry of people in the streets. There's a frown on the face of everyone you meet. They're saying that times have changed and this whole world is rearranged. Man, you just can't feed your family on minimum wage. Yet you work every day, knowing you already spent your pay, clinging real tight to hope, even though you know your pocket's broke. Whoa. You better not laugh, man, this ain't no joke. You can't let go. You can't let go. You can't let go. You can't let go. The cry is the same from people everywhere. It's like we're running out of love, or we simply just don't care. Too much innocent blood I shed. You better watch your mouth or you end up dead. Just like Richie Spice tell you know already, say earth I run red. Yet you work every day, knowing you already spent your pay, yeah. Clinging real tight to hope, even though you know your pocket's broke. Boy, you better not laugh, man, this ain't no joke. You can't let go. You can't let go. You can't let go. You can't let go. So if you really wanna know what people think about you, when them run come tell you how them love you, why you know say I'm not true. Run go round the corner, play like you're dead, and before them help you raise up your head, man, them empty out your pocket and a pass remarks instead. So you work every day, knowing you already spent your pay, yeah. Clinging real tight to hope, even though you know your pocket's broke. You better not laugh, man, this ain't no joke. can't let go. You can't let go. Can't let go. You can't let go. This is the never-ending story of our lives. There will never be peace without equal rights. You got to teach the youth them how to live. Lead by example and be positive. Or the same youth will kill you, then run go turn fugitive. So you work every day, knowing you already spent your pay, clinging real tight to hope, even though you know your pocket's broke. You better not laugh, man, this ain't no joke. You can't let go. You can't let go. You can't let go. You can't let go.
Yes, sir.
Tell ya.
Man. You go to work every day knowing that you spent your pay.
Brother.
That is deep, man. I mean, because been there.
Yo, brother. Hey.
With inflation, sometimes I'm still there.
You know what I'm saying, man? Hey, I'm telling you. You see why I asked you to play that song, man? This is the never-ending story of our life. There will never be peace without equal rights. You got to teach the youth them how to live. Lead by example and be positive. DJ Booza, you know what happened? The same youth rob you, then run a turn fugitive. Brother, listen, man. When it comes to certain reality, when I say staunch reality, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. You have some people that they are unaware. You know, you mentioned just now, you know, you're the kind of person that you're trying to open doors for people who maybe otherwise wouldn't find a key to open said doors. You see what I said to you about vibe now? That's what you said. That's what I just said. Well, I have to teach them how to live. I just said it in a different set of words.
Exactly. Well, you know what they say, man. It's like, you know, once you get tuned into that frequency, the people that come into your life will be tuned into that same exact frequency.
Precisely. There you go, man. There you go.
So,
yes,
man. Well, hey,
just like Natalie said, whoa. I know she over there laughing. Think of yourself, Natalie. Whoa.
Well, I can't wait to get back on my program tomorrow so I can say that on one of my UK stations now.
You're right. Yes.
So, anyway, so the folks want to, you know, get your music and they want to follow you on social media. How do they find you?
Okay, so I have a website, and I did this for a reason. I'm methodical because that is what I studied, okay? So I find DeVaremusic.com to be the easiest place to find everything. So all the social media handles, all the outlets, and even the links on that page will take you to where you can purchase the music. So the easiest way to think of it is DeVaremusic.com, DeVaremusic.com. And it's a one-stop shop where you'll find everything. Sooner or later, we're going to get to merchandising. It's just one step at a time for me. So until I see where it makes sense, when I can make the connections to have the merchandise done, and so I can keep up with the demand, then it will be such. But, you know, to be sitting here reeling off 5-6 different handles, people don't grasp that much. It's just one thing, plain and simple, DeVaremusic.com, one-stop shop for everything DeVare.
All right, that's it, y'all. You got to consolidate. For me, on that Linktree app, DJ Boozadelic.
Simple.
That's all you got to do.
You got to simplify things. There you go.
For those of you viewing, please make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, so we can continue to grow this and give these great artists some exposure here. And I appreciate everybody taking the time. This is Inside the Music. Want to big up and shout out, thank my guest here today, DeVaremusic.com. Also, big ups to Natalie Lawrence, the manager who made this all happen. Big ups to Tori, Commando, Joe, and everybody else that chimed in. And if this works like my Facebook did, I'm sure there's people that commented that I didn't see. And so I want to big up everybody and thank you for tuning in.
All right. And also, I want to say thank you for sharing the platform, DJ Boozadelic. And you know, the thing is, I believe very, very wholeheartedly that you give people flowers while they're alive. And so I'm handing you a big, 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 big bunch of roses, brother. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm going to make this public right now. Someone else was supposed to be on this program today. And this DJ is so dedicated to what he does and the reason he does it that he said, DeVare, if you can do it, let's do it, in order to not create a blank space and so that someone else could get the opportunity to be in said spot. For that, I appreciate you. Outside of all the other appreciations, I want to also say thank you for sharing the platform. Thank you for giving me a moment to be myself. Thank you for allowing me to express myself after you have given me that moment. And for all the people behind the scenes who keep DJ Boozadelic happy, alive, fulfilled, and for everything else, for the people we don't get to see nor hear about. Big up, big up, big up, big up yourself. You're appreciated. You understand me? For all the people out there listening, for the people who are watching, for the ones that are going to listen forward when it comes on to down the line, I appreciate you as well. And I want to take a special moment and say family, because it's everything. You get me? Natalie being a part of that extended family, I'm going to also give her praise because she is a hard worker. She has seen a lot of negative and she felt like giving it many a times. Okay. And I'm glad she's sticking with it. And I'm glad she's toughing it out. And I'm glad she's always there for me in a positive way. She corrects me. She molds me. She keeps me sane. She lets me know when I'm right. She lets me know when I'm wrong. And that's not easy to find. You know what I mean? She gets the negative. She gets it. She gets it. She gets it. And sometimes it brings her to tears. And I have to step up and be a man and say, hey, listen, you know what I mean? So I always want to say big up to Natalie. And as I said, extended family. DJ Boozadelic, much love, honors and manners. So we say it, you know. And to all the listening public out there, one love every time.
All right, my brother. Respect
Yes,
every time, my brother.
Yes, I am. I'm going to be listening for that. Whoa!
All right. Well, tomorrow, Saturday, y'all can catch me on magnet-radio.com. Comes on 12 noon Pacific, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. And in the UK, that is 8 to 10. So make sure you check it out, magnet-radio.com. I'll be playing some DeVare music, as well as a lot of other great dancehall, reggae, soca. So Afro beats as well. So you don't want to miss that.
All right, my brother. Stay well.
All right.
All right.
Peace and blessings, family.
All right.